Hey friends, do you want to see a magic trick? So how could I make such a big improvement in my shoulder mobility with such a short amount of time? And a lasting improvement too. That's the thing, is this sticks. Well, as I'm wrapping up this 3-part series in stretching, mobility, flexibility, whatever you want to call it, I say the best for last. This is where you can become scientific but artistic at the same time, and combining the two makes for some really awesome programs for our clients and for me personally. Ta-da! As I'm sitting here, I'm sitting in an artificially stable environment, so I don't have to work very hard. My muscles don't have to be turned on to brace through my core, which the core does to help protect my spine. So the brain, being as smart as it is, starts just shutting muscles down because we don't need them. And the longer I sit, the more that those switches stay off. So now when I go up to do something, all of a sudden the brain's like, whoa, we're not ready for this. We've been dormant here. We're not ready for you to move. So that's why maybe you notice that your shoulders aren't as full range of motion, because you need to protect what's ever in this torso area. And we know that there's a lot of important things, all these vital organs. So your brain is thinking, we have to survive. The core isn't very strong right now, so what do we have to do to make up for that? We have to compensate. So as I reach in the cupboard for something, I might not be able to keep the shoulders down. All of a sudden my shoulders, they start rounding. Why? Fetal position, right? I find myself getting in this hunched position to protect those important organs, to protect the very important spine that's going up and down. So if we can discover what we like to call those core restoration exercises. So now all of a sudden, if I can engage, if I can get that core stability working again, build that core strength, that's going to send a signal to my brain, tell my brain, hey, we're strong here now. We can be allowed more range of motion. And that range of motion is going to be huge, because compensation in the body is not necessarily a good thing in the long term, because those compensations start sticking. And that's why we end up with these shoulder problems, these neck problems, is because those shoulders start doing this and they don't end up going back until we can fully restore proper functioning through the core. Ta-da! It's not about static stretching. It's not about bending over, touching your toes. It's not about being the runner's butterfly stretches, leg swings, anything like that. It's about the intent of those exercises. Hands and feet need to be engaged. Hands and feet are, over half our bones reside in our hands and our feet. So this means something. So when I'm grabbing onto that ultimate sandbag and that hip bridge, you better believe it, that I'm grabbing as tight as I can. I am leaving nothing behind in that grip. And the foot that's on the floor, that foot is pressing as hard as it can into the ground. So I'm making those connections. I'm getting that core restored, revving up its engine. And that's why, after just such a few amount of repetitions, neurologically, the brain is lit up. It feels now that core strength, that core stability, and that's why it allows me more range of motion in the shoulders. True story. I saw it on the internet. Think about it this way. Stretching is kind of like that Band-Aid effect, because if stretching really did work, you wouldn't have to do it all the time. But people keep going back to this foam rolling, they keep going back to stretching, and they don't ever get that result. If I can establish that core foundation, if I can reclaim that strength and that stability, all of a sudden now I can enjoy more range of motion. I can live my life freer because of that strength and stability. So why don't you put that in your coffee cup and drink it? You're welcome.